And welcome guys to another little video. Now today's little video is going to be over buying products like steel and things like that. I did a small portion of it I think in another video, but I didn't like how I had it and everything. And what I'm talking about is when I sit down here and I don't have enough steel or something. I mean the stats kind of hard to see because my FPS meter is over top of it. But if I go over here to the shopping center, which we're going to be calling Black Market, and try to buy stuff, okay, I can buy like copper, wire, and stuff like that, and that's going to be our little black market. Something to make the player spend his cold hard cash, right? So in the older one, I had an item database, which was a static class and things like that. And well, you need these things to be able to build, right? To build these turrets and all that good stuff. Well, and we also save that information as well because they're player resources. So, in any case, what I've done is I've refined it a little bit more into a button class. So let's take a look at it. Now, as you can see, there's a few little things about, cost, buying, what we're buying, the amount, and the cost, right? Now you see this little code right here. This is different. This was added to this class, which is the buy class. And it inherits from item object, which pretty much is nothing except do work and a few other things. I mean, get costs, get lead. I don't think I use that. Get info, get item. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. But the important thing is this right here. Now, if you don't recognize this and everything else, please go watch the video. It's going to be in the description. It goes over why this is called buy and it's not a void or this one. And the significance about it is we can have a private function inside of this buy class that does everything that it needs. So we can go setup and it can sit there and set all of our things based on a string key, which we pass. In our shop button here, we pass it, okay? See item object, and we go down here to build by, we call it based on a key, and we do an instantiation of this. See, I used to have this function right here do stuff, and it was fine, and it served its purpose, okay? But it's a static class, and well, some people don't like statics and things. So I took this entire function right here out of this class because I may make this class obsolete because it really doesn't do anything. Okay? And two, we needed this class to just to get stuff working at first, because we don't know how we're going to integrate this into the thing. See, there's no real book on how we can do stuff, right? And well, there is patterns that you could probably look up and different other things, but it's like the Wild Wild West. Everybody's different. Everyone has their own style, and hey, whatever, right? So we have this function here that's new, buy, and you see that it's a key. Usually when you instantiate an object, you're going something like this. Buy temp2 temp equals new buy, and it's like this. But if you paid attention to my other video, you can skip some of the other stuff. You can skip this step. And we can just delete this now because I've done recorded what we were supposed to be doing. And there you are. So now we've got this little key that we pass. and we go into our class, and it does everything it needs to do. Now it's just a little bit of code cleanup. I put these serializable right here because I want to see them in the inspector. This is mostly a cosmetic thing right here, okay? If I didn't need these, I could exit out this, and this, and leave it private. And I can get rid of this. Serializable field is part of the Unity engine, okay? It's not a C# thing, it's a Unity thing. The only reason that I had that namespace there is because I needed the serializable field, okay? If it wasn't for these 3 lines right here, I would not need it. I just left it in here just for inspector friendliness when we're debugging. Because, well, there's a lot of times where we need to see certain information, and sometimes it just doesn't, want to cooperate, and that's okay sometimes. And these are the functions that we call. String, everything's the same. Now it's pretty much privately owned by the class now. This isn't a public function that anybody else can call. So this is in the buy class, and it's centralized to where it needs to go. So anything that needs buying, we know where it is. It's in this class right here. When we come to buying steel, buying things like that, now we can inherit and change up this class a little bit as well. And it's not going to hurt anything. I mean, we can always inherit from that and make a different class to it, or just completely do a completely different class like we have here. We just inherit from item object. That way we get the base stuff that we need for this. And in the shop class thing right here, it's part of the panel and things, and that's pretty much it. Shop data is pretty simple. Okay, we've got our list, spawn, and we spawn certain things on copper, wires, tech, lead. This is how we spawn buttons into the game. This is actually an initial spawn. Later on, we're going to be loading from a file for this. Basically when we unlock technologies like better stuff, we're going to be able to just buy this stuff. Well, we're also going to change it where there's going to be a timer where you just can't instantly hit it and just build up your steel, right? Or anything else. We're going to make it where they you push the button, and even if you're spamming those buttons and everything else, you're still not going to get that stuff, but every maybe like 5 seconds. That way the player doesn't get an unfair advantage, right? And this does its spawn thing, SP, build, and we just give it a string, and that's it. I mean, it's really simple as it can be. Build by, we're doing this. This code right here is just so that we can see when in the editor, the transform component, the thing that we instantiate, we're setting the name to be the same thing as the tag, mostly for debugging purposes. Update UI, and then we update our list to make sure that we don't get duplicate buttons, because that would be just silly. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the shop class is very, very easy. And 2, this is the second video on it, so it's not going to be something super difficult. We don't even need these things right here. Yep, we don't even need them. And we do need Unity engine because we got game object. Okay, and that's it for that. Very simple, very clean, and 2, I made another change to the game resources. We have start game. I just put a private variable here for initialization, like the game's been initialized. Okay, so if the game, as you know, and everything in our dictionary, if the key doesn't exist, we have to add it. But in here, a lot of times, we need to make sure that the key already exists. So I just add all of them, okay, because our UI, if it equals 0, it deletes the string, okay? It doesn't add the string to the UI element. So we can have all these zeros in here. They exist in the dictionary, but they do not show up in our UI element, in the actual physical game. If we had all these things, then it would be, visually, which in turn will probably change and put this into like some type of menu that the player can open and close. But right now, a little text box up, a little list in the corner works for now. But it will get a lot longer and a lot other things. But that's how that works. And then each time we start in a new level, we don't, a new level means we don't have any resources. We just call this function. And it won't error out or nothing, cause an error or throw an exception or anything like that. It'll be really clean and easy. And that's pretty much it. Oh. And you'll get a little error probably in this code right here. Okay. This said cost. Okay. It used to say cost, like dot cost, okay. But I took that away from being public to being private and calling the function the getter. Okay, it's no longer public. It's sealed in the class. But we made functions to get amount, get cost, things like that. So it's not like totally different and unusual. Okay? And the rest of this function didn't change. So, get your message, get update, call update. Very easy. And I think that's pretty much it for everything in the changes. I've been doing a lot slower changes and more smaller ones due to the fact that if I make a whole bunch of changes, A, it's hard for me to track and tell you guys every single change I make. B, it makes the video long and it might be hard for you to even follow. But, that's my opinion. So, and the third, I keep the video very short for you guys, so it's not like really ridiculously long. Because I think I made like a couple that were an hour, and after a half an hour, you guys pretty much just didn't want to watch it anymore, and I can see it in the statistics. So I hope this helps you, and thanks for watching. This is Wardon over and out, and remember to like, hit, and subscribe, and be sure if you do not recognize this functionality right here, if you don't know what this does, there'll be a link in the description to the video that explains C# in this manner and how this works. So thanks for watching and peace.